the Ecological Society of America. So, for the AES, ESA, we've been focused on promoting ecological research and bring together ecologists with Asian backgrounds who study various ecosystems. And so as you all know, or you may already know, since last November, we've been hosting the AES, ESA talks. Those talks are quarterly virtual series that gather, a range of speakers from our members to experts in the field, encouraging collaboration and sharing of innovative research. So tonight, we are excited to have Professor Akihiko Ito from the University of Tokyo with us for our third AES ESA talk. So Professor Ito will present on evaluating terrestrial ecosystem greenhouse gas budgets with a process-based model, 25 years of visit study. So Professor Ito is, as you all know, he's a faculty member now at the University of Tokyo Graduate School of Agriculture and Life Sciences since since last year. He got his Ph.D. in biological sciences from the University of Tsukuba. So his career includes roles at the Japan Agency for Marine Earth Science and Technology and the National Institute for Environmental Studies, where he developed expertise in ecological modeling, plant ecophysiology, and biogeochemistry. His research focuses on global environmental change, particularly in creating ecosystem models to understand atmosphere ecosystem exchanges, which have informed the climate change policy and ecosystem management. So let's welcome Professor Ito to tonight's seminar. Go ahead. Share screen.
Thank you for inviting me to this very interesting seminar. Yes, I start sharing my screen. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, pretty good.
Okay, thank you again. My name is Akihiko Ito, professor of University of Tokyo from last year. Since before coming to the University of Tokyo, I was a researcher of National Institute for Environmental Studies, Japan, about 70 years. And also, I was a postdoc student of Japan Agency of Marine Science and Technology. Today, I talk about a brief overview of my research work about terrestrial ecosystem greenhouse gas budget evaluation. This is the content of today's seminar. I give a brief history of the model development first, and I also talk about recent studies about model intercomparison and some recent works about policy-relevant, policy-oriented project. When I start my work about 1995, the carbon dioxide concentration was much lower than today, about 360 ppm. And the temperature was about half degree centigrade cooler than today. But the awareness of climate change crisis was increasing. And the first IPCC report, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report, was just published in 1990. And a very big international program, IGBP, International Geosphere Biosphere Program, was launched in 1987. So I was very interested in this research field. So I want to make some contribution. I want to start working about this global change issues. This is the time of my first graduate student year in 1996, 1995. So I decided to develop a model, but I didn't know how to develop a model at that time. Please remember that in 1996, 5, the internet was very poor. No Google, no Wikipedia, no Flux data, no MODIS satellite data, or no database of plant rate. So the information was quite limited. And only source of the information was printed paper or reports. And I could use a very weak, not so powerful computer like this. I use a Macintosh computer, and the data was restored in a floppy disk. Under this circumstance, I started my work in 1995. This is a strategy of the model development at that time. I focused on the carbon cycle. Because the carbon dioxide is the most important greenhouse gas. And by focusing on the carbon cycle, we can simulate the ecosystem dynamics in a simplified manner. And I want to develop a model applicable to the global scale and global land area, not only natural, but also agricultural ecosystems. And I want to apply my model not only the present state, but also past and future conditions. So to accomplish this requirement, I choose to adopt a mechanistic approach or a process-based model approach, because some statistical model is not so process-based. So this kind of model can be a black box, but I prefer to be a process-based model. So I want to make the model based on the ecophysiological relationship and data. And to conduct realistic simulations, I decided to use prescribed land cover data. This is a model development stage strategy at first. But at that time, there are many giant models. So BioBGC, Terrestrial Ecosystem Model, or Century, and CASA was developed just before starting my work about 1993. So these model group are very active and very productive in publication. So I felt very strong pressure because we need to catch up with these giant model groups. But in contrast, on the other hand, we could learn many things from these models. So we have I had a good 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 and bad for these at the circumstance at that point at that area at that age. So to start my work, I said my background or theory is Monge-Sykes theory. This is a theory of ecophysiology developed in Japan. The right picture shows Professor Monji and Professor Saiki. They are the plant ecologists of University of Tokyo. And they developed dry matter production theory, a so-called mongicide theory about the vegetation structure in terms of the productivity and dynamics. This first paper was published in 1953, just after the World War II, and they measured the vertical structure of vegetation canopy in terms of light attenuation and productivity. So they conduct not only measurement, but also develop theoretical or mathematical models. The attenuation of light is represented by this equation, so-called Lambert-Beer equation. And this equation was widely adopted by the land surface models or terrestrial ecosystem models. This exponential decrease of light vertically as a function of cumulative Efren index was very useful for models. And also they developed a growth primary production or photosynthesis model of the canopy based on the single leaf photosynthesis and this kind of canopy structure. They provide a theoretical model, mathematical model of growth primary production shown here. So based on this, the ecophysiological theory, we have a starting point of model development. So in 1986, my supervisor, Professor Takehisa Oikawa, developed a model of carbon cycle of tropical rainforest. He applied the mongicide theory to develop a carbon cycle model shown here. He applied this mongicide theory to simulate the photosynthesis. And also he simulates respiration, allocation, metaphor, and decomposition in a mechanistic manner. So he developed a carbon cycle model and applied the Paso forest in Malaysia and successfully simulates the carbon cycle. And also he conducted an experiment to assess the effect of increasing carbon dioxide. In 1986, he, based on the simulation, he suggests that the elevated CO2 will affect the structure or function of tropical ecosystem. This is well before the first experiment was conducted. And so based on the model of Professor Oikawa, I developed my model. First model is called SimCycle, simulation model of carbon cycle in land ecosystems. This is the structure of the model. As you see, the basic structure looks similar to the Professor Oikawa's model. But I include many things, many additional components to simulate, to conduct a global simulation. And I include the effect of temperature on photosynthesis and respiration. And also I include the effect of moisture or water on photosynthesis and decomposition. And using global models, I conduct a simulation of the model in my PhD work. Also, in this model, I separately consider the plant, C3 plant and C4 plant processes. So in my work, my first work, I applied this model to simulate the interannual variability of terrestrial ecosystem carbon budget. So I focus on the effect of Mount Pinatubo eruption in 1991 and strong El Nino impact in 1997 and 1998. So this is a time series of terrestrial ecosystem carbon budget simulated by this model. And I found that after the Mount Pinatubo eruption, as a result of cooling, the terrestrial ecosystem was a net sink of carbon. But in 1997, as a result of El Nino associated with the high temperature and drought, the terrestrial ecosystem was a strong source to the atmosphere. I use this model to simulate this kind of interannual variability of ecosystem. So this is the long-term simulation result of the using sim cycle at different ecosystem types. So it looks very successfully, but one big problem was the insufficient model validation. At that time, we could not use flux measurement data. So I conduct the validation only use data of net primary production, leaf area index, plant biomass, and soil carbon. So we could not directly validate the model simulation about the net CO2 fluxes. So after finishing my PhD work, I proceeded to the second stage of my model development. So in my PhD work or my postdoc or researcher, I need to expand a model because to be competitive with other models. So I first try to include the non-CO2 greenhouse budget, such as methane and nitrous oxide or nitrogen cycle were included in the model. Also, I try to include the effect of land use, fire, and biogeochemistry emission. And the second challenge is coupling with Earth system model or climate model. So about 2000, just beginning of this century, the Earth system model emerges. For example, the famous Hadley Center model suggests the significance of climate and carbon cycle feedback. So in my early work in PhD postdoctoral, I try to couple my model with Miroku Earth system model. The third challenge is use of the data of Earth observations. So after 2000, many data of flux measurement, satellite, and plant trait database are available. So effective use of such big data is big challenge. So for the first challenge, I try to include the process of methane emission from wetland and methane oxidation by upland soils. So I try to include this methane budget into the model. So I use the Walter and Hyman scheme and the South scheme to simulate the wetland scheme. And I use the Curry scheme to simulate the methane oxidation scheme process. So by including these processes, we can successfully simulate the methane emission from wetlands as shown here. And also I try to use this model to simulate the methane emission from paddy field in East Asia and methane emission from Arctic natural wetlands shown here. Also, we try to include the nitrogen cycle to simulate the nitrous oxide emission, the third important greenhouse gas. So we include the nitrogen cycle processes into the model, and first applied to the temperate deciduous forest in Japan, and conduct validation. The black line is the model simulation, and the blue circle is observation. So we could successfully simulate the nitrous oxide emission from terrestrial systems. So we apply this scheme to the global scale or regional scale. So the left-hand side, you see the simulated result of CO2 emission in East Asia from natural soil, agricultural soil, and these total emissions. So by this, through these simulations, we reveal the effect of agricultural fertilizer and manure use is significantly increase the nitrous oxide emission from this region. Also, I try to expand my model by including the fire effect. This is a kind of some local study. I apply my model to the East Siberian large forest. So this is a very fire-prone ecosystem. So almost every year or every few years, the fire occurs in this area. So I try to expand my model to simulate the effect of fire biomass burning. So the dotted line is the biomass burning related processes. And I apply this model to the East Siberian large forest and simulate the effect of fire burning, as shown here. This is a point scale simulations. Uses forest floor fire or crown fire affect differently on the carbon budget in this area. And I developed some cellular automaton system to simulate the fire expansion or extinction in this area. So this is a fire-related studies. And also we conduct a land use study. My colleague, my PhD postdoc student, postdoc researchers, Dr. Adachi and Dr. Hirata expand my model to include the effect of land use conversion. So Professor Dr. Adachi includes the effect of land use conversion from natural forest to oil palm plantation in Malaysia. So she includes oil palm processes into the model, including the seed harvest. So using this model, she simulates the effect of land use conversion from forest to oil palm plantation. This result in the huge carbon emission, net carbon emission from this area. Also, Dr. Hirata applied the model to the Japanese artificial forest, and he simulates the effect of clear cutting or thinning of forest management on carbon budget in this Hokkaido forest area. And because about the Earth system model, we try to couple with the climate model and terrestrial ecosystem model. This is one example of the result of the coupled model. Dr. Kato, Hokkaido University, applied this Earth system model to simulate the terrestrial ecosystem in the Earth system model and validate the model using the atmospheric CO2 concentration simulated by Earth system model. Yeah. And this model made a contribution to C4MIP, coupled climate and carbon cycle model intercomparison to evaluate the feedback effect of climate and carbon cycle. And our model was included in this paper a very famous paper by Pierre Friedrichstein. And also, we conduct, in parallel, conduct ecophysiological simulation. This is a basic study of model improvement. I collaborate with ecophysiological researchers, Professor Muraoka. He conduct measurement of leaf basic photosynthetic properties, VC max or J max or dark respiration, and leaf thickness, leaf mass per area. His data implies the seasonal change of these leaf properties, shown here. So we develop parameterization of these seasonal change of leaf properties and included into the model. So we found that these parameterization of leaf seasonal change largely improves the model accuracy to simulate the ecosystem scale carbon exchange. And also, we apply the model to make a future projection of ecophysiological process in the flux measurement site in Japan. So using the future scenario of climate change, we simulate the future increase of photosynthesis, but the net extreme production was not so improved because of the global temperature rise also increase the respiration CO2 loss from the ecosystem. But recently, we found a very big problem about this comparison between flux measurement and models. So the recent work by Professor Dr. Murayama, published in this year, suggests that the gross marine production or net extreme production of Takayama forest in Japan decreased after 2010, as shown here. The black line is observation, but our model simulation implies the increase of NAP and photosynthesis, mainly driven by the elevated CO2 fertilization effect. But in the observation shows the decline of photosynthesis. But this is apparent inconsistency, but we cannot explain about this different result of the observation and models. This is our recent challenge. Anyway, we changed the model name from SIM cycle to BGIT by including the nitrogen cycle and methane processes about the 2010. This is a recent structure of model. So uses a carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, and methane, and BVOC, and wildfire result, and land use change impact included in the model. So about the observation models, we can use the flux measurement data. This is an example of the study at the Takayama flux measurement sites. We applied the model to this site and simulate the daily carbon CO2 fluxes. And we could directly make comparison with observation by flux measurement tower and models. This is very good opportunity for model validation. Also, we could use flux measurement data to evaluate the effect of impact of tropical cyclones, or called typhoon in Japan. In 2004, many typhoons attacked Japan forest. As much as 10 typhoons attacked Japan. And as a result of typhoon, tropical cyclones, the forest structure was affected by wind throw over deforest. To evaluate the impact of this disturbance, we use the flux measurement data and models, and we estimated this impact first impact on the leaf layer index, and secondly on the CO2 flux. So we found that the tropical cyclone had a strong impact on the CO2 budget or forest structure in Japan. And also we try to include the soil processes, so-called erosion, which is the lateral transportation by water. So we try to include the soil erosion into the model because this erosion results in the decrease of soil organic carbon. So we simulate the global erosion distribution shown here, and also we conduct a future projection of soil erosion in the future. As a result of climate change and land use change, we simulate that more soil carbon will be lost as a result of increased soil erosion. This is the one model improvement in our study. Also, we include not only erosion, but also other minor carbon flow, such as the export of dissolved organic carbon, or agriculture and wood harvest, and biogeochemistry and land use change and biomass burning. These flux are small in general, but at the global scale, these impacts are not negligible. So we found that by including these small flows, the net ecosystem production or net biome production was largely affected by these fluxes. Seeing more looking regionally, the impact of these minor flow was much more clear or evident, shown here. And also, we are working with satellite observational researchers. In Japan, we have a greenhouse gas observation satellite, GOSAT. Now, two GOSAT satellites are operating, and the third satellite will be launched in early next year. This observation GOSAT provides concentration of CO2 and methane. This is like OCO2 of United States. But and in Japan, we use this based on this concentration observations, we estimate the surface fluxes using the inversion estimation models. So in this process, we provide simulated result of terrestrial ecosystems as prior data of inversions. So we have some collaboration with satellite observational community in Japan. And recently, we have another pathway of collaboration because GOSAT provides data on sign-induced chlorophyll fluorescence called SIF. So by using this chlorophyll fluorescence data, we can improve the photosynthetic process of the models. So we can improve the model processes and provide better prior data. So this is a very good collaboration with satellite observational community. And last few minutes, I try to provide the result of the model intercomparison project and recent works. The first model intercomparison project, as you know, is very effective to specify the source of uncertainty, and the benchmarking compared with observation data is very effective. And my first model intercomparison project was MISTIPIP. Dr. Jaifu is the member of core member of this project. And when I was staying in Oak Ridge National Lab, Dr. McPost invited me to this project. And this project was very effective for me to specify or to clarify the characteristic of the model. For example, the right here is a dendrogram of model structures. So the model, my model is this position, and we can understand the relative similarity or dissimilarity using this kind of analysis. So through this MISTIMIP, we made very many studies. So this is the result of Deborah Huntinger. In this study, we found that my model may overestimate the terrestrial carbon sink. The right-hand figure shows the analysis of seasonal amplitude of carbon cycle. So we found that many models underestimate the seasonal amplitude of carbon photosynthesis and net carbon budget, including my model, and underestimate the carbon seasonal amplitude. So through this, in comparison, it was very effective to characterize the model properties. And I am now participating in another model intercomparison. This is an example of intersectoral impact model intercomparison led by PIK of Germany. This is one example of the EGMIP result. So this is a comparison, model intercomparison for future climate impact. So this is a result of the future carbon, biomass carbon simulated by the model as a function of future temperature rise. So we use the models simulate the future increase of vegetation carbon, but the magnitude was very different, showing the large uncertainty in the model prediction. So in this study, we analyze the cause of this model intercomparison, and we found that the model difference in the vegetation carbon residence time or turnover time was responsible for this model simulation uncertainty. And this is a recent work about the future, the global fire bound area attribution. So we conduct a simulation about the biomass burning fire by these models, and we made some comparison for experiments and using this model simulations. And we found that the ongoing climate change impact is increasing to enhance the fire. But direct human impact forcing was negative in many areas. So in the future, climate change impact will be more important to increase the future global burnt area. So fire become more severe. Yes, this is an example of trendy. This is another model intercomparison. So in this trendy, we conduct a benchmarking. This is a benchmarking about photosynthesis and river runoff. This tail diagram shows model characteristics. So our model digits were some lower in correlation with data, but the model variability was close to observation. But for about the river runoff, our model was lower, smaller variability compared with the observation. So these benchmarking provides insights for modelers to improve the models. And this is another model intercomparison NMIP led by the Huntington, Professor Huntington, about the nitrogen model intercomparison. So in this model, model intercomparison, we compare the result of nitrous oxide emission and other nitrogen-related processes. So we compare the result of N2 emission and these emission mapping as shown here. Also, we have a model comparison about the methane. Just briefly, we conduct a model in comparison at the West Siberian lowland or Arctic area and some global scale methane emission from wetlands. So we found a very big intermodel difference of methane emission, implying the model uncertainty of methane emission. So finally, we want to make a contribution to the policy, not only science, but also policy from this simulation of greenhouse gases. So by simulating the greenhouse gas budget by the model, we make a make contribution, firstly to global carbon project synthesis, shown here, and this model comparison synthesis will make contribution to the IPCC report, then policy. This is our strategy from science to policy. And yeah, in Japan, we have some specific project to enhance the contribution of our modeling work or observation to evaluate the greenhouse gas budget in Japan. This is our very new project launched in this year. We have 5 years to improve the model and enhance the collaboration with observation. So this is an example of yes, we have also we have some new work about the Earth system models, but we skip this. So this is the final slide. We have I have conducted model simulation of about 25 years, but there remain many issues about the biogeochemical processes, such as more higher level coupling of carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus coupling is required, and some more work about the system models are required. And more vegetation dynamics. The present models doesn't have the vegetation dynamics, but we need to include the vegetation dynamics to estimate the future change of vegetation structure. And many other processes are remain, including the soil processes, biomass burning, and so on. So we have many things, many such tasks in the future. That's all. Thank you for your attention.
Nice. Yeah. Thank you so much, Professor Ito. Yeah, you've done really, I would say excellent job in terms of, the visit process-based model development and a lot of, excellent work about this, participation of the multi-model intercomparison projects, and also, not just working on this kind of, offline single point level model development. You also apply it regionally, globally, and also, couple your model with the Earth's model. Yeah, to do a lot of, future simulations. Yeah, wonderful job. Yeah, so let's take question from our audience. Any question? Yeah, we do have, modelers here. I think we there. Yeah, we. And I also saw, see Ying is also here. Any questions?
So I'm not a modeler. Maybe I can start so people can ask a more in-depth question later. Yeah, Professor Ito, thank you so much for the interesting talk. It's very comprehensive and interesting overview of your model development and the applications. So I just curious your view about I guess IPCC assembly, right? So we know there is always a big spread in model uncertainty, right? So to me, a lot of time when we project the different model projections, we use assembly, like it's almost like a kind of average of other models. But in fact, we know, for example, you show the cluster analysis for different models, how similar and how different they are, right? So in a way, we could actually assign a kind of weighted average for the model output for IPCC, right? But to me, people don't do that, right? So I'm just curious, like, what's the reason, people just using like a simple like assembly, almost like just simple average.
Thank you for this question. Because because there are some simple average is somewhat can be somewhat biased by model structure or so such kind of democracy of models is sometimes very dangerous.
Yeah.
So in recent works adopt another approach called emergent postulant. So in this approach, first we compare the model result for past the historical period. So we select the models which could simulate the past trend, and then average after the for the selected models. So other models were removed. So this kind of some emergent constraint approach was now developing instead of the simple average. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. So maybe another quick question. So in your talk, you show like the difference between observation and the model prediction, I think in Japan, right? Talk about in your model, you show the NEP actually increase and the observation showing like a decrease.
Yeah.
But you still don't know exactly the reason for that. So I'm an ecohydrologist. So I'm just curious, like whether water play a role like in that, because recently we show, across the whole northern hemisphere, right? So vegetation productivity has been more constrained by water availability. I just curious, like whether that could be the case for you, like whether you didn't consider, for example, water limitation in your simulation.
Thank you. In my simulation, water effect was included, but in a very simplified manner. So, as observational researchers, Dr. Murayama implies the effect of the decrease of winter snowfall. So in this area, about 20 years ago, the snow was about 2-meter thickness. But as a result of global warming or climate change, the winter snow decreased rapidly. So as a result of such a decrease of snowfall, this area become much more drier than compared. So I think this kind of hydrological effect could affect the vegetation processes, but models could not capture appropriately such effect. I think this is one hypothesis.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah. Thank you. I'll post the paper I mentioned in the chat in case you are interested. Yeah. Thank you for interesting talk.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, go ahead, Jiami. Yeah. So.
Hello, Professor Ito. Thank you so much for your insightful talk. My name is Jiami, a postdoc at the Carnegie Science at Stanford campus. I have a question kind of related to that example question by Professor Li-Xin Wang. I'm always curious about those models, like how similar or how dependent are those models? For example, they may use similar set of equations or model structures or parameters. I'm wondering, like, based on your knowledge, how similar or dependent are they? And I'm also curious, like, if they are similar, why should we have such a large discrepancies among models? Are they different in model structures or missing process? I would like to hear your insights. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very difficult questions because it is very difficult to characterize model structure. So in the meantime, we have some table about the model characteristics. So based on this table, we could make a dendrogram of model similarity. But in other case, it's very difficult to what is the difference? What is the common similarity of among the models? So yeah, I have no good idea to characterize the models. Yeah. So at least we need a very good model description to specify the model characteristics. So, but I'm sorry, I don't have a good idea.
Yeah, I totally understand it. This is certainly a difficult question. And also I have another follow-up question. So how do you envision what we should do to reduce those model uncertainties to make them converge?
One approach is as I told, the emergent constraint using the historical trend is one approach to select the models which are consistent with historical trend. This is one approach. And another approach, I don't know details, but the one approach is developed by Ichiruo, Professor Ichiruo. He provides some mathematical approach to merge or to integrate the different models, different structure models into one framework. I'm not sure this is some mathematical or some matrix approach. So I think this kind of mathematical or some emergent constraint can gradually reduce the uncertainty between the models.
Thank you so much for answering my questions.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, any more questions? So, Professor, yeah, I just have a quick question. Since you've been part of many multi-model intercomparison projects, right?
Mhm.
From a mixed map to, trendy to ISMAP and also to this machine map, etc. Yeah, you have been very active in this kind of activities. Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to propose a new map, what would it be?
It's very difficult, but so yeah, yeah, we have already have too many maps, but I want to have some model in comparison in terms of soil respiration. We have a good data of soil respiration for benchmarking, and there are no model intercomparison about soil respiration. So we are now proposing some kind of model intercomparison as a part of trendy to use soil respiration data for model benchmarking. This result will improve the understanding of soil processes of models, including soil decomposition, root respiration, or other soil physical processes, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I know for the model development, yeah, it's a long process, right? So you say 25 years for you as a since you were a PhD student, you have been working on this. But I think you, your team members, I was wondering, not for just for your, your model, your group, and the similar thing for other, modeling group. So, but for you, how, have you, you want to do for this development efforts, you need to get different the fundings from different sources. I have been very curious about how could you just attract those many fundings, supporting you doing just model only or model mainly work.
Yeah, thank you for very important questions. Fortunately, I was very lucky because I could join in some big project of the system model development when I was working in JAMSTEC, and I was involved in the climate change impact model assessment project in NIES. And so we could some different kind of funding to hire the postdoc researcher and to conduct the simulation or to buy computers for the different purposes or different sources. So I was very lucky to find some funding sources. But for the future, I need to find another funding to continue my work in the university. This is my ongoing task.
Yeah. So another quick one is that, I think I still have a lot of questions for you. Yeah. So anyway, so for NCAR, the CLM model, the community lab model. Yeah, I think I think that's a good. It is kind of good. Very excellent. Teamwork. It attracts the input from people from different communities. Different universities. National labs, and also not just within US, but also international, inputs also. So for your visit model, so it's mainly just maintained by your team, or you also have this kind of developments, or this kind of inputs from people other than Japan, or just from other countries. So how this part going?
Yeah, yes, you are right. The NCAR CLM is a very good example of open source model developmental project. So, but in my model, Vigit is not open source at present. So we are managing our source code by within our group. So, but we provide our source code anyone who contacted us. We provide the gist source anyone outside the university or any institute or even other countries. So we can collaborate with other institute or other country researchers freely. Yeah. Yeah, so we can maintain some collaboration. This is a loose collaboration, not a strong one, but this kind of a very flexible collaboration is works good. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah, still, yeah, any more questions? Okay, yeah, if no, yeah. Yeah, thanks again to Professor Ito for the great talk and to everyone who asked questions today. So yeah, this is the end of this AES ESA talk, and we hope you all keep joining us for the next future, AES talks, and take part in more, our AES related activities, events. Thank you. Yeah, thank you all.